Reader's Theater, an approach to increase fluency. RDG 592, Catherine Todd. Fluency. According to the National Reading Panel's 2000 report, repeated guided oral reading is the most effective method for improving reading fluency. When successful readers read aloud, not only do they read fluently and with adequate speed, they also use appropriate phrasing, intonation. Their oral reading mirrors their spoken language. Research indicates that repeated readings lead to improvements in fluency on texts read by students, which in turn generalizes to new texts not previously encountered by students. Fluency defined. Fluency is defined as the ability to read the words in a text with sufficient accuracy, automaticity, and prosody to lead to a good comprehension. Automaticity is the ability of proficient readers to read the words in a text effortlessly and correctly using their finite cognitive resources to attend to meaning while reading. Furthermore, fluency also includes prosody, which is the ability of the reader to render a text with phrasing and expression that is appropriate and reflects semantic and syntactic content of the passage. Fluency also includes the component of accuracy, which includes the reader's ability to read the words in a text without error in pronunciation. The importance of fluency to reading instruction. Struggling with word identification can be a hindrance to constructing meaning. Many struggling readers have difficulty moving to a level of fluency that allows them to easily comprehend what they are reading. If students cannot recognize a substantial number of words encountered while reading texts, then their reading becomes laborious and slow. The comprehension of the text therefore declines. This leads us to the instructional approach of Reader's Theater. This approach is the approach where students perform a written script that demands repeated and assisted reading where the focus is delivering meaning to an audience. The link between repeated readings and fluency indicates that Reader's Theater is an effective instructional approach to increase fluency for students of all ages. There is, however, research that supports this evidence. The first research study that I found supporting Reader's Theater was a study conducted by a classroom teacher named Chase Young. Young was a second grade classroom teacher that conducted this in the 2007-2008 school year. Students were grouped in small groups of 3 to 6 with a total of 4 groups. The Reader's Theater instructional approach was implemented over a 5-day period. Young tested students in the fall and the spring of the 2007-2008 school year using DRA measures. Young's quantitative results found that students showed an increase from fall to spring. They showed a 0.3% growth in word recognition accuracy. In the area of rate and automaticity, they acquired 64.9 word count per minute. They had an increase of prosody of 0.8. The DRA level increased from 11.8, a total of 11.8 levels that year. By the end of the year, young students were at the benchmark for second grade. Young's qualitative results indicated that the students made significant growth in motivation and attitude to reading. Parents reported it was a great way to get kids to read. Students eagerly awaited Fluency Friday. The second study I found was a study that was highlighted in a journal article in Reading Horizon. The article was titled Improving Oral Reading Fluency Through Reader's Theater by Mraz, Nichols, Caldwell, Bisley, Sargent, and Rupley. The study was conducted in a third grade classroom in the South. 85% of the school's population were in a reduced lunch program. Prior to the study, all 17 students that participated in the study were struggling in fluency. The study took place over 6 weeks. the students increased in their word counts per minute. Since the ultimate goal of this fluency intervention was to increase the understanding of text, the post measure on comprehension also revealed very encouraging results. As a whole, the class comprehension went from an average of 49% to a class average of 86%. The last study I found was study 3, what had a focus titled Extending Reader's Theater, a Powerful and Purposeful Match with Podcasting. This study implemented the Reader's Theater approach with the technology of podcasting. It was in a design data collection with mixed study methods conducted by Sherry Vicenda and Julie McLeod. The study consisted of 3 schools. A total, all of the students in the study were in 2nd and 3rd grade, 100 students total, including 35 struggling readers. The study lasted for 10 weeks. During the study, the students recorded their scripts on the 5th day of their performance day on Fridays into a podcast. Students were assessed before the study began using DRA and CRI measures. Students and teachers were also asked open-ended questions in a qualitative form of the study to just see how they felt about it. After 3 weeks of repeated reading, students gained grade equivalency for struggling readers was 1.13 years. For individual students range from semester's growth to 3 years growth as measured by CRI and DRI measures. Reader's Theater instructional approach is an approach used for elementary students, and it's also effective in middle school and high school students as well. It's predominantly elementary students, but I found recent articles in 2017 and 2018 where there's an increase because so many middle to high school students are still struggling with reading, that it's an approach that's used at the secondary level. Normally, Reader's Theater is conducted over a 5-day period. Students require grouping prior to starting using assessment data such as DIBELS and DRA, or Reading A to Z. Students are divided into 3 to 6 students in 4 groups. The approach lasts over a 5-day period. Normally, day 1, it's about a 30-minute time allotment. Students choose scripts, and they are normally given, considering the younger grades, given a smaller number of choices. Students become familiar with their scripts on day 1. They read it to themselves. They may take it home and read it again. At this time, students are asked to think of the roles they may want while they're reading their scripts at home. It's also an opportunity, if possible, depending on your student population, to have parents read the scripts with the students. If not, teachers may take those particular students and spend some extra time reading scripts with them, helping them choose what roles they feel they could be the most excited about. Day 2 is about a 15-minute time window, and on day 2, students actually get to choose their roles. They're also getting an opportunity for another repeated reading opportunity. The roles are practiced in the classroom. Then the students may also take their scripts home and practice their roles at home. So now they've possibly, by day 2, read their scripts 2 to 3 times. Day 3 normally takes about a 15-minute time period. At day 3, students get to read with each other, acting as peer coaches, collaborating together. This is an opportunity for students to focus on difficulties with meaning and word recognition. This is also a time where teachers can take the time to stop and help struggling readers. By day 3, students may be at their 3rd or 4th reading of their actual script. And teachers may get the opportunity to differentiate and help different students. Look at how their students are pairing. Are their peer coaches together? Are they working well together? Are they getting along? Opportunity to promote character development. How are we treating each other? Reader's Theater can be a great behavioral and good citizenship opportunity for students as well. Day 4 takes about 20 minutes. This is what is called rehearsal days. The students are getting very excited. They're continuing to practice with peers and doing peer and teacher coaching. This is another opportunity for repeated reading. Throughout the week, they have read the script by day 4, possibly 4 to 5 times. If students have taken them home, maybe 6 or 7 times, creating the automaticity that we're hoping to see. Day 5. This is the exciting day. Day 5 is Performance Day, also called, as mentioned earlier, Fluency Friday. This could be a really fun opportunity if this approaches, if Readers Theaters, if you opt to do this in your own classroom, to have your own name for Day 5, Performance Day, Fluency Friday. Students may perform in the classroom, or they can actually go out and perform for younger grades. In my research, I found that a lot of students will actually, there's different approaches teachers will take. Teachers will have students just invite kindergarten class to come down and watch them. They may go to the auditorium and perform. They may have an assembly and be asked to perform, and the principal may have this particular third grade class come in and do it that day. There is also an opportunity for parents to come and watch as students become familiar with the approach. Maybe once a month, parents may be invited in with an opportunity to see their kids act out a play. Students could bring in costumes. Again, also an opportunity to do the actual play and performance with parents coming in as a behavioral ward. An opportunity, if everybody's behaving, we get to have parents come in today. So it's a really fun way to incorporate Readers Theater into just incentives for positivity in the classroom. I also located some really great resources to find scripts and just to provide support for Readers Theater. www.readinglady.com. Reading A to Z is great. There is a cost to Reading A to Z, but I think I pay maybe $50 a year in my private tutoring practice, so it seems pretty reasonable. Also, www.timbrzezinski.com, Reading Rockets, and readwritethink.org had some really nice lesson plans and some different implementation recommendations as well. And I'm going to go over those on the next slide, which I did retrieve from readwritethink.org. There's some actually really great implementation recommendations for Readers Theaters as an approach. First of all, one of the things I didn't go into too much depth about is when a good thing to do is to distribute scripts and allow students, when you're distributing scripts as they're looking at the different scripts, to make predictions about the scripts. What do you think is going to happen? A really good opportunity to engage their interest and the excitement in Readers Theater. Also, because you may have 4 different groups of 3 to 6 students, this allows teachers to circulate and read the scripts aloud to each group. Because as you think, when you have 4 different groups, you have 4 different scripts to read. And really getting the students the opportunity to model you reading the script and doing it with different inflections. This allows the students to think how they may choose to play the part. Also, discuss scripts. Allow students to give you feedback. Well, Miss Todd, I like how you read that. I like how that particular sounded. Maybe an opportunity to bring in accents, English accents, Australian accents. That could just be a whole lot of fun for students. Another opportunity, implementation recommendation, is to create a vocab list. When you read it with the students, write the vocab on the whiteboard. This could help with the word recognition, word decoding that we discussed. Sometimes comes into play about day 3 when you're actually working with students. But if you start at the beginning, creating a vocab list as they're introducing the scripts, these are words you're going to want to look out for. Grabbing a highlighter. Let's highlight the words that we think could be tricky. Also, as a reward, again, as we discussed, allowing students to be thinking, hey, if we have, really good cooperation this week and we work together, maybe this could be the week we could bring in costumes and we could act it out. And also possibly introducing the idea of recording their Readers Theater on maybe one performance per month into a podcast. That's a great opportunity. The last thing is assessments. A great way to pre and post assess the Readers Theater instructional strategy to make sure it's working is through DIBELS measures, both the oral reading fluency and the comprehension measures, Reading A to Z, DRA, Developmental Reading Assessment, and FMP. Basically just whatever your school uses or what you have access to. And as we know through our instruction in this program, Dibbles is a free resource which is easy to use and will measure the progress of our students to see are they increasing in their fluency and increasing in their comprehension. As I've really discussed, you should see increase in word count per minute, but also overall comprehension, as we saw in the studies presented in my presentation. I'm going to leave you with a really great video about a teacher implementing Reader's Theater from the Reading Rockets website. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks so much for watching my presentation.
Today is the last day for Miss Nelson's Missing. We're going to be wrapping it up with a theater's performance. We have some people taking the parts and acting it out. Let's begin.
The kids in room 207 were misbehaving against Miss Nelson. They were the worst behaved class in the school. Class, now settle down! But they will not behave. Look, I can touch my tongue to my nose. They were even rude during story time. The next morning, Miss Nelson did not come to school. Where's Miss Nelson?
Never mind that. Oh no! You misbehave, you'll be sorry.
They thought they would be stuck with Miss Viola Swamp forever. And one day, hello children! Did you miss me?
We certainly did.
Where are you? That's my little secret. How about story time?
Oh yes!
Miss Nelson noticed that no one was rude or silly during story time. But proud about this lovely change.
That's our little secret.
Back at home, Miss Nelson hung up her coat and sang a little song. I will never tell.
Very good. What is the message of this story? Yes, Kevin.